Sitting here at the Lake County Tech Hub, Thursday, March 18th, 2021, with my dear friend, Michael Brankin, who I feel like I've known for the last 75 years. So
Maybe you have.
we're sharing a coffee, and it's a brain dump on the impact to certain industries that we're both passionate about. Me in the world of online communications, Mr. Brankin here in the world of food, distribution, supply, access, how to do it ethically, how to do it in a healthy manner, how to do it conscientiously, and the right impact to society. Our communities are begging for fresh produce. And this man over here is writing the formula on how to do it in the right way. And it just blows my mind here listening to him and not getting this on tape. So therefore, let's just continue the conversation, man. What is first? What is it called? Your
It's
company.
called the Taste of Eden Market,
Okay.
and it's all virtual websites. So there's no actual marketplace. We didn't see the idea of putting in new infrastructure. There's already grocery stores everywhere, but we just had one question. It's like, why can't I get food from my local stores to my door? Nobody could tell me why we couldn't, so that's what we built.
And it grew. This has been in place now for a couple of years.
No, it was a concept a couple of years ago. We actually just celebrated our first year.
Ooh.
So we celebrated
1 year
our
in.
first year, first year, and we started with just a handful of vendors that said, "Yeah, I'll take a chance on you." And now we have 27 vendors, over 750 products, and people can buy all year round.
Wow.
So
27 vendors, and there are many out there that are still scrambling to satisfy accommodating 2 or 3 vendors and providing just a small amount of inventory to a community that is just begging for this kind of thing, for the convenience factor, for the right choice factor, for the right price factor, for the timeliness in delivery. I mean, what I'm hearing is just like,
well, and it's funny you talk about price because it's a lot of most people don't understand in the store, especially the produce section. You're going to buy from the grocery store, but there have been 10 hands that have handled that food along the way. And every one of them is taking money out of that dollar. So if you're buying a dollar banana, you're probably only sending 10 cents to the person that actually grew the banana and harvested it.
Mm.
And so our model is we wanted to go right to the farmers, the guys that are growing it. So, we don't offer bananas. We're not offering oranges because we're in the Midwest. So these aren't things that we grow here. But we went to the farm, said, "What are you growing? Let's serve your food to people here locally." It was very much like a farmer's market, except that you don't have to go out in public. The COVID thing came up, and people weren't going. Farmers markets were closing, and all these farms were like, "How do I sell my produce?" And you're expecting a farm now to go out and set up a web page, do delivery, and then you're expecting consumers to go to 12 different farms and get the produce shipped from 12 different people in 12 different trucks. None of this made sense. So we said, we'll just list everybody on one site. We'll handle the delivery and the logistics for the farmers. And 90% of the food that you're spending goes right back to the farm. So
that is so keen on meeting the need, thinking on your feet, getting creative, and not continuing to reproduce what was done before, especially when that model created so much concern, so many complaints, so many disconnects from the source to where the actual end user resides. So I'm digging how the formula just kind of cleaned that whole process up. And that's what's missing is more creative thoughts, meeting the demand in a way that makes sense and it actually fits what the concern is in order to go from A to B. Creator, originator, the resource to the end user. And that's a model that just blows me away. Every time I hear you describe it in more detail, it's like, okay, so deliveries, especially during the pandemic with the mandates and the quarantines and the shutdowns and everybody sequestered in their homes, you couldn't get to what you needed.
Yeah.
So that's
the numbers are going back up. So we don't know where we're going to be in another 3-4 months.
True.
Even with the vaccines.
And we do have our masks, by the way. Just so you know, they're here.
You see the 6 feet away.
We're not sitting on each other's, we're hanging out here.
Well, the other thing that I get asked a lot is, do we want to compete with farmers markets? And we don't. That is not, if you can go to a farmers market and love the experience, great. but I'm a father of 4. I'm not going to drag my kids to a farmer's market where I got to go to 7 different stands. It's only open for 4 hours on a Tuesday or on Saturday when
Right.
it's 50 million people I'm competing with and wait 8 different lines. That to me is mind numbing.
And
But I
especially,
but I love the idea of having the option to pick from the farms that I was buying from. So even a lot of sites we researched at first, we just wanted to find something that was in the place that we could help grow for our local farmers. There was nothing. And even the ones that were doing it, you couldn't really pick the farms. You couldn't tell where your food was coming from. So you have all these stores that say, "Oh, we buy local," but you go there and it looks the same for the most part, and you have no idea where the farms are actually. They might give you a laundry list of which farms they pick from, but you don't know the practices. You couldn't visit them if you wanted to.
Right.
You go to our site, you know the farm that provided that tomato or the
Right.
kale or the peppers or where it's coming from.
on top of that, the risk factor, he mentioned he has 4 kids. Trucking them over to a place, a public venue where, especially these days, with the government easing of the restrictions and all, you could potentially risk the exposure to those kids. Maybe 50% of the folks that are shopping are wearing masks or exercising social distancing. So for the safety factor, the convenience factor, and there's a lot of reasons why your model is making so much sense. And just to get it on paper, get it going to where other communities can replicate this is important these days. The demand is there. It's meeting the demand. That's a key. And doing it again in a safe, ethical, convenient manner. Eden's Market,
Taste of Eden Market.
Taste of Eden Market. Eden's with an S.
No,
No?
no.
Taste of Eden Market.
Came from basically the Garden of Eden. Just
Gotcha.
the concept, because
Gotcha.
almost every religion has an Eden of some kind. They're all different names, but everybody recognizes that we used to be surrounded with food. That it used to be everywhere. And now obviously it costs money now for these farms to produce it.
Right.
But as we grow, we're going to support more local farms to expand and grow. So they're growing more than just corn or soybeans. They have a predictable market where they know people are buying. They know how many customers are in it. It's something that doesn't exist right now. Most farms love the predictability of selling corn or soybeans because the government backs it up. They got a guaranteed profit. But here we can come in and say, look, we know how much we're selling. This is what we need.
Mhm.
It's gonna be a game changer.
I think it's already impacting in a positive way. And as the word continues to spread as to the convenience factor, the safety factor, the ethical factor, the ethics involved on, instead of the initial farmer receiving 10% of their labor, of their sweat, of their initial effort to produce this produce, we need to see that ratio change. There should be more reward to the growers, to
Absolutely.
the producers. 10% doesn't seem very fair.
No, that's why ours get 90.
There we go. That's our goal.
We
That's
totally
the target.
we totally flipped it on its head. It's because
That's awesome.
as the farmers start realizing more profits, as they start selling more local produce, they're going to be able to bring those prices down. Because then they're like, oh, I can still sell it 60% of what I was selling before, but I'm taking the money home instead of selling it to a market that's probably going to throw half that away.
A third-party venture that takes that major cut for reasons that make no sense, that the end user pays, but the originator of the produce doesn't see.
Right.
So
just to move it around.
Yeah. All right. Well, we spent some quality time here. You're going to see a lot more programming like this. Brainstorming, think tanks, masterminds. We promise it. It's been a while and cleaning it up and putting it in a way to present it to you. Just know, the Lake County Tech Hub and Business Incubator is here. Michael Brankin is gracing us with his presence today. The man just has an idea that blows me away. So I'm here in full support of everything you want to do. You know that.
Yes,
We've known each other for a while, and I'm just grateful that you're doing what you're doing for the community. And I love hearing the testimonials and the feedback. And you know, when you take care of one, 3 or 4 are going to find out. So cheers to you, my friend. We'll do it again. We'll do it again soon. Take care.